The skies over planet Vegeta crackled with ominous energy, the once proud home of the Scions now reduced to a barren wasteland under the rule of Frieza. The tyrant stood atop a jagged cliff, his tail flicking with impatience as he surveyed the ruins below. 10 years, 4 months, that was how long he had spent in isolation, pushing his body beyond its limits, refining his power in pursuit of perfection. Yet, despite his grueling training, he had only unlocked 6 of his potential forms, each more terrifying than the last. His crimson eyes narrowed. It wasn't enough. He needed more. Elsewhere, aboard the Capsule Corporation spaceship, Goku adjusted his weighted gi, his muscles coiled like springs. The gravity chamber had been set to 300 times Earth's standard, yet he moved with ease, his body honed to a razor's edge. Frieza's back, Vegeta growled from the doorway, his arms crossed. And he's stronger than ever. Goku grinned, cracking his knuckles. Good. I've been waiting for a real challenge. The confrontation erupted on the scorched plains of New Namek, where Frieza had gathered his forces. The air itself trembled as Goku and Vegeta touched down, their auras flaring like twin suns. Frieza smirked, his tail curling around his waist. Ah, the monkeys finally arrive. How quaint. Goku's fists clenched. We ain't the same guys you fought before, Frieza. You're going down. Without warning, Frieza vanished, reappearing behind Goku with a vicious elbow aimed at his spine. Goku twisted mid-air, barely blocking the strike, but the force sent him skidding back. Vegeta lunged, his fist wreathed in blue ki. Frieza sidestepped, catching Vegeta's wrist and slamming him into the ground with enough force to split the earth. Goku retaliated with a rapid-fire Kamehameha, the beam searing toward Frieza's chest. The tyrant raised a single hand, effortlessly dispersing the attack with a pulse of purple energy. Is this all you've got? He taunted. Goku's eyes hardened. Fine. Let's step it up. His muscles bulged, his hair spiking gold as he erupted into Super Saiyan Blue. The ground quaked beneath him, his aura burning like a supernova. Vegeta followed suit, his own transformation shaking the battlefield. Frieza merely chuckled. Cute. With a flick of his wrist, he unleashed a barrage of razor-sharp death beams, each one aimed with lethal precision. Goku weaved through them, his movements a blur, but one grazed his shoulder, drawing blood. Vegeta charged, his fists a storm of blows. Frieza dodged, countering with a knee to the gut that sent the Saiyan Prince sprawling. Before he could recover, Frieza teleported above him, his foot slamming down like a meteor. The impact cratered the earth, dust and debris exploding outward. Goku roared, launching a flurry of punches, each one met with Frieza's own. Their fists collided with thunderous force, shockwaves rippling through the atmosphere. Then, Frieza grinned. Enough games. His body convulsed, his form twisting as he ascended into his 4th transformation, Golden Frieza. His power surged, the sheer pressure of his aura forcing Goku and Vegeta to their knees. You insects thought you could stand against me? Frieza's voice dripped with malice. He raised a single finger, a swirling orb of destruction forming at its tip. Die! The blast rocketed toward them, unstoppable, a cataclysm of pure annihilation. Goku and Vegeta barely had time to brace before the explosion engulfed them, the shockwave leveling mountains in its wake. As the smoke cleared, Frieza floated above the devastation, his laughter echoing across the wasteland. But then, a flicker of movement. Goku staggered to his feet, his gi torn, blood dripping from his lip. His eyes burned with defiance. Hey! Not bad. Frieza's smirk faltered. Impossible. Goku clenched his fists, his body trembling with exertion. We ain't done yet. To be continued. The battlefield trembled as Frieza's latest transformation crackled with energy, his 6 perfected forms now fused into a single, monstrous evolution. Goku lay sprawled in the dirt, blood trickling from his lip, his muscles screaming from the last brutal exchange. He'd underestimated Frieza's decade of relentless training, this wasn't the same tyrant he'd defeated on Namek. Vegeta landed beside him, arms crossed, his scowl deepening. Pathetic, Kakarot. You couldn't even last 5 minutes. But his voice lacked its usual venom. Even he couldn't ignore the oppressive aura radiating from Frieza now, a suffocating mix of raw power and refined technique. Frieza flicked his wrist, sending a razor-thin energy disk spiraling toward them. Goku barely rolled aside as it sliced through a mountain behind him, the sheer force sending shockwaves through the valley. Vegeta retaliated with a barrage of ki blasts, but Frieza vanished, reappearing behind him with a knee to his spine. The Saiyan Prince gasped as he cratered into the ground. Then, the sky darkened. A massive shadow eclipsed the sun, an alien warship, its hull marked with the jagged insignia of the Heaters. Oh? Uninvited guests? Frieza mused, smirking as Alek, the clan's leader, descended with his siblings in tow. We've come to collect what's ours, Alek declared, his mechanical eye whirring as it locked onto Frieza. Goku staggered to his feet, wiping his mouth. Who are these guys? Vegeta growled, more pests. But Gas, the youngest heater, stepped forward, his body morphing into a hulking, armored beast. Without warning, he lunged at Frieza, fists wreathed in violet energy. The two clashed, each blow cracking the earth beneath them. Frieza laughed, dodging with eerie grace before driving his tail through Gas's gut. But instead of blood, black tendrils erupted from the wound, ensnaring Frieza's arm. Biomechanical parasites, Alek explained coolly. Adaptable. Unstoppable. The tendrils burrowed into Frieza's flesh, his golden form flickering as his energy drained. Goku and Vegeta exchanged glances. This wasn't their fight, but letting the heaters win meant a worse tyranny than Frieza's. Truce? Goku offered. Vegeta scoffed but nodded. They launched forward in unison, Goku's instant transmission putting him directly above Alek, his fist slamming downward. Alek barely raised a barrier in time, the impact shattering the ground beneath them. Meanwhile, Vegeta unleashed his final flash, the beam carving a molten trench toward Frieza and Gas. Frieza tore free of the tendrils, his body smoking, and countered with a death beam aimed at Vegeta's heart. Goku intercepted it with a Kamehameha, the beams colliding in a deafening explosion that sent everyone flying. As dust choked the air, a new presence emerged, Broly, his eyes wild, his muscles bulging with untamed power. He'd sensed the battle from across the planet. But something was wrong. His gaze locked onto Frieza, then flickered to the heaters, his breathing ragged. The last time he'd faced Frieza, it had ended in trauma. Now, his rage had no clear target. Broly, wait. Goku's warning came too late. Broly roared, his energy spiraling out of control as he attacked everyone indiscriminately. His fist connected with Gas, sending the heater crashing through a rock formation. Then he turned on Vegeta, grappling him midair before hurling him into a lake. Frieza, ever the opportunist, seized the chaos to charge a supernova, the sphere swelling above his palm. Let's see you survive this, monkeys. He hurled it downward, the blast radius engulfing the entire battlefield. Goku gritted his teeth, forcing his body into Ultra Instinct, silver hair flaring as he deflected the explosion skyward, the shockwave scattering the clouds. But the effort left him drained. He collapsed to one knee as Alek's laughter echoed. Fools! You've played right into our hands. The ground beneath them began to glow, an ancient heater trap, a gravity well designed to crush even gods. The planet itself groaned under the strain, fissures splitting the crust. Vegeta surfaced from the lake, gasping, his armor cracked. Kakarot, we need to end this now. Goku forced a grin. Yeah. But we're gonna need help. He reached out with his mind, a desperate telepathic call. Somewhere in the cosmos, a familiar presence stirred, an ally they hadn't seen in years. As Frieza and the heaters closed in, Broly's rampage reached its peak, and the planet teetered on destruction. One question remained: who would answer Goku's call? The stakes had never been higher. The air crackled with energy as Frieza hovered above the scorched battlefield, his newly perfected sixth form radiating an aura of pure malice. Below, Goku struggled to his feet, his body trembling from exhaustion, blood trickling from a deep gash across his chest. You've gotten stronger, Frieza, Goku admitted, forcing a grin. But I'm not done yet. Frieza's lips curled into a cold smile. Oh, Kakarot, you still don't understand. This power isn't just strength, it's evolution. And you're witnessing its pinnacle. Before Goku could react, Frieza vanished, reappearing inches from his face. A single finger pressed against Goku's forehead, and in an instant, a blinding explosion of violet energy erupted, sending Goku hurtling through the landscape like a ragdoll. The impact carved a canyon through the earth, dust and debris obscuring the carnage. Frieza floated forward, savoring the moment. Pathetic. All that training, all those transformations, and yet you still fall so easily. From the smoke, a weak chuckle echoed. Goku staggered up, his gi torn, his breathing ragged. Hey! You're right. I can't beat you like this. His eyes flickered with determination as he reached deep within himself, summoning the last vestiges of his energy. But I'm not fighting alone. A sudden surge of power erupted behind Frieza. Vegeta, his aura flaring like a supernova, slammed a devastating punch into Frieza's spine. The tyrant snarled, spinning to retaliate, but Vegeta was already gone, teleporting above him with a crushing axe kick. Frieza blocked, but the force drove him into the ground. You've grown bold, Prince Vegeta, Frieza hissed, wiping blood from his lip. But boldness won't save you. Vegeta smirked. We'll see. With a sharp whistle, Piccolo and Gohan emerged from the shadows, energy blades forming in their hands. They struck in unison, slashing at Frieza from both sides. The tyrant dodged Piccolo's strike but took Gohan's blade across his chest, his golden armor splitting open. For the first time, frustration flashed in Frieza's eyes. You insects dare. A sudden tremor shook the battlefield. The ground beneath them fissured, and from the depths, a monstrous energy surged. Frieza's expression twisted into something between shock and delight. Ah! So that's where you've been hiding. Emerging from the abyss was Broly, his emerald aura wild, his eyes burning with untamed fury. Goku's heart sank. No. Not now. Broly roared, his power spiking uncontrollably. He lunged at Frieza, but the tyrant sidestepped effortlessly, delivering a crushing elbow to the back of Broly's skull. The berserker crashed into the earth, but immediately writhed back up, his rage intensifying. He's lost control, Piccolo shouted. If we don't stop him, he'll destroy everything. Frieza laughed, floating higher. This is perfect. Let the beast tear you apart while I watch. Goku clenched his fists. We can't fight both of them. We need a plan, now. Vegeta's eyes narrowed. There's one option. The fusion technique. Goku hesitated. But if we mess it up? We don't have a choice, Vegeta snapped. As Broly's rampage escalated, the ground quaking beneath his fury, Goku and Vegeta locked eyes. With a shared nod, they began the fusion dance, their movements synchronized despite the chaos. Frieza's amusement faded. What are you? No. He fired a death beam, but Piccolo and Gohan intercepted, deflecting it with a combined energy barrier. The fusion completed in a blinding flash. Where Goku and Vegeta once stood, now towered Gogeta, his presence radiating overwhelming power. Broly turned, sensing the new threat, and charged. Gogeta met him head-on, their clash sending shockwaves across the planet. Frieza, realizing the tide had turned, snarled. Enough of this. He raised his hand, gathering a sphere of destruction, one capable of annihilating the entire planet. If I can't rule it, no one will. Gogeta, mid-battle with Broly, sensed the impending doom. He disengaged, flashing beside Frieza in an instant. Not happening. With a single, devastating punch, he shattered Frieza's attack, the backlash sending the tyrant crashing into a mountain. Broly, now unchecked, howled in rage and launched himself at Gogeta. The fusion warrior braced, but then, something unexpected. Broly's fist stopped inches from Gogeta's face, his wild eyes flickering with something human. A memory. A face. Chi-Lai? He whispered. The momentary clarity was all Gogeta needed. With a swift chop to Broly's neck, he knocked the berserker unconscious. The battlefield fell silent. Frieza, half buried in rubble, watched in stunned disbelief. His perfect victory had crumbled. His body ached, his pride shattered. But as the dust settled, his lips curled into a smirk. This isn't over. Not by far. And with that, he vanished, leaving behind a war-torn world and heroes who knew, this was only the beginning. The air crackled with tension as Frieza hovered above the battlefield, his newly perfected form radiating an aura of pure malice. His tail flicked lazily, but his golden eyes burned with predatory focus. Below him, Goku wiped blood from his lip, his muscles trembling from exhaustion. You've gotten stronger, Goku admitted, forcing a grin. But I'm not done yet. Frieza smirked, flexing his claws. 10 years and 4 months of relentless training, and this is all you can muster? Pathetic. Without warning, he vanished, reappearing behind Goku in a blur of motion. His fist slammed into Goku's spine, sending him crashing into the earth with a seismic impact. Rocks shattered, dust pluming into the air. Goku gasped, rolling onto his back just in time to see Frieza's foot descending toward his face. At the last second, Goku twisted, kicking upward to deflect the blow. The force still sent him skidding backward, his boots carving trenches into the ground. Goku's mind raced. Frieza's speed and power had surpassed anything he'd faced before. But he couldn't afford hesitation. Channeling his remaining energy, he unleashed a flurry of ki blasts, each one homing in on Frieza. The tyrant didn't even flinch. With a lazy wave of his hand, he deflected them effortlessly, the explosions lighting up the sky like fireworks. Is this your best? Frieza taunted, his voice dripping with amusement. Gritting his teeth, Goku pushed past the pain. His body screamed in protest, but he forced himself into Super Saiyan Blue, his aura flaring like a sapphire inferno. The ground quaked beneath him as he shot forward, his fist aimed at Frieza's jaw. Frieza blocked with his forearm, but Goku twisted midair, driving his knee into Frieza's ribs. The tyrant grunted, his smirk faltering for the first time. Seizing the opening, Goku unleashed a rapid barrage of punches, each strike fueled by desperation and raw power. Frieza staggered, his golden form flickering. But then, his lips curled into a sneer. Cute. In an instant, his tail lashed out, wrapping around Goku's throat and lifting him off the ground. Goku gagged, clawing at the constricting appendage as Frieza's free hand glowed with violet energy. Any last words, monkey? Goku's vision darkened at the edges, but his fingers twitched. With a final surge of willpower, he gathered ki into his palm and blasted Frieza point blank in the face. The explosion sent both of them flying. Goku landed hard, coughing as he struggled to his knees. Across the battlefield, Frieza rose, his face smeared with ash, his expression twisted with rage. "You'll pay for that," he hissed. The ground between them shattered as Frieza lunged, his claws aimed for Goku's heart. Goku barely dodged, but Frieza's tail whipped around, slamming into his ribs. Bones cracked. Goku spat blood, his body screaming in protest. He needed more power. Digging deep, he reached for Ultra Instinct, his movements becoming fluid, instinctual. Frieza's next strike missed by a hair's breadth as Goku sidestepped, countering with a devastating elbow to Frieza's temple. Frieza reeled, his golden aura flickering erratically. Impossible. He snarled. Goku didn't let up. His fists moved like lightning, each blow precise, each strike pushing Frieza closer to his limit. But Frieza wasn't done yet. With a roar, he unleashed a massive death beam, the energy slicing through the air like a razor. Goku flipped over it, but Frieza was already upon him, his knee driving into Goku's gut. The Saiyan doubled over, but his hand shot out, gripping Frieza's wrist. With a grunt, he spun, hurling Frieza into a mountainside. The rock face crumbled, burying the tyrant in rubble. Goku panted, his body trembling. He knew Frieza wasn't finished. Sure enough, the debris exploded outward, revealing Frieza in a terrifying new form, his sixth and final transformation. His body was sleek, his power condensed into something monstrous. "Now," Frieza purred, "let's end this." Goku braced himself as Frieza vanished. A fist connected with his jaw before he could react, sending him spiraling through the air. Another punch to his ribs. A kick to his spine. Frieza was toying with him, savoring every moment of his suffering. Goku's vision blurred, but he refused to fall. Summoning every ounce of strength, he roared, his aura exploding into a blinding light. The final clash was inevitable. Frieza's fist met Goku's in a cataclysmic impact, the shockwave tearing the landscape apart. For a moment, the world held its breath. Then, with a deafening explosion, the battlefield was swallowed by light. When the dust settled, only one figure remained standing. The air crackled with energy as Frieza hovered above the battlefield, his golden form gleaming under the crimson sky. 10 years and 4 months of relentless training had honed him into something beyond a monster, something divine. Yet, despite mastering 6 devastating transformations, he had only needed one to bring Goku to his knees. The Saiyan lay broken in the crater below, blood trickling from his lips, his body refusing to obey. Pathetic, Frieza sneered, his voice dripping with amusement. "All that struggle, and you still can't touch me." Goku's fingers twitched, his muscles screaming in protest as he forced himself onto one knee. His vision blurred, but his will burned brighter than ever. "You're strong," he admitted between ragged breaths. "But I'm not done yet." With a roar, he unleashed every ounce of his remaining energy, his aura exploding into a swirling maelstrom of blue and silver. Ultra Instinct, imperfect, unstable, but enough. Frieza's smirk faltered as Goku vanished, reappearing in a flash of light with a fist aimed at his jaw. The tyrant barely dodged, feeling the shockwave tear through the landscape behind him. "Impossible." He snarled, countering with a brutal knee to Goku's ribs. Bones cracked, but Goku didn't flinch. His body moved on instinct, weaving through Frieza's onslaught like wind through blades of grass. The two clashed again, each blow shaking the planet to its core. Frieza's death beam lanced out, but Goku twisted midair, letting it graze his shoulder as he retaliated with a point-blank Kamehameha. The beam engulfed Frieza, yet he emerged unscathed, his laughter echoing like thunder. "Is that all?" he taunted, charging forward in a golden blur. Goku gritted his teeth. He could feel his body failing, Ultra Instinct slipping through his fingers like sand. But then, memories flashed. Vegeta's sacrifice. Gohan's determination. Whis' teachings. He wasn't fighting alone. With a final surge, he channeled everything into one last strike. Frieza saw it coming, but too late. Their fists collided, a shockwave ripping through dimensions. For a moment, time stood still. Then, Frieza's arm shattered. His golden form flickered, his eyes widening in disbelief. How? He choked out before Goku's follow-up punch sent him crashing through mountains. The earth split as Frieza skidded to a halt, his energy plummeting. Goku landed before him, his own body on the verge of collapse. It's over, he whispered. Frieza's lips curled into a bloody grin. No. It's just beginning. With a final, desperate surge, he fired a black energy sphere, the same technique that had once destroyed planet Vegeta. Goku braced himself, but then, a familiar voice. Dad. Gohan's barrier flared to life, shielding them both. The explosion rocked the world, but when the dust cleared, Frieza was gone, his energy signature vanishing into the void. Silence. Then, a shaky exhale as Goku collapsed, his son catching him. You did it, Gohan whispered. Across the universe, the balance shifted. Frieza's empire crumbled, his forces scattering. The Z fighters stood victorious, but not unchanged. Goku's eyes fluttered open, a tired smile on his face. We'll get stronger, he promised. And somewhere in the infinite cosmos, a shadow stirred, waiting.